It's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. So I've been doing a few videos on ideas about how to do an inexpensive gift, maybe for a shower or just something you want to give to a friend. And I found these little booklets. Sorry, that's Aggie shaking there. These little booklets I got at Michael's. They were 2 for $1, and I think they were on clearance, but they probably still have them. I'm not sure. I just got them a month or so ago. Anyway, you get 2 of these for $1, and then the pens are gel pens, and you get 5 of those for $1 at the Dollar Tree. And I love that Dollar Tree. Anyway, so you have about 70 cents involved in this project before the paper, and the paper is, relatively inexpensive. So if you're looking for an inexpensive gift, this should do it. So anyway, what I did was I measured the booklets. They're 5 inches tall and they're 3.5 inches wide. And because you're going to be taking the paper and wrapping it around, then you need to know how much the spine, how wide the spine is, and it's a 1/2 inch wide, and then the back again is 3.5. So your total of your width is 7.5 inches. So this needs to be 7.5 inches. So I put some tear tape on the back of it, and now we're going to score it. We're going to score it at the 3.5 and the 4-inch mark. And I put this all in the body. You know how that goes. I always put it down below where you look for the information. Got a thing under there that's rolling around. Get that out of there. Okay. And I thought this one I would just decorate a little bit versus the other one that's plain. So we're going to do it on 3. Whoops, my paper's moving a little bit. 3.5 and 4. I have that tear tape underneath. That's why I'm kind of doing this in an odd way. You don't really need those score lines to be super deep because we're just going to wrap it around the book, and I just want to kind of give it a head start to wrapping. And I'm going to just take off some of the tear tape. Well, all of the tear tape, I mean. My dogs, as usual, when I get on the YouTube, as soon as I get on a video, they start acting like lunatics. So they're in the background running back and forth and growling at each other. So if you hear that, just ignore it. There's nothing I can do to stop them. I think they're possessed. Okay, there's that. Then I'm going to just do an initial bend on the first bend so that we can easily attach these. Now, one thing I can tell you about these is that the covers were not really consistent. Like, it might be 3.5 here, but it might be 3.25 here, and it might be 3 7/8. I mean, it's really wonky, these sizes of these books. So if that happens to you, just be prepared to cut some of it off. And then I'm going to just set the spine in so that it's hopefully as even as I can get it. It's a little bit uneven on the bottom. I'm going to move it a little bit. Okay, now it's probably as even as I'm going to get it. Then you're going to fold on that other score line and then press it, and we're going to push down on the bottom so that the whole thing is really well adhered. Now keep in mind, I told you you might have this problem. I don't know if you can see that purple. I'm going to put some white under it so you definitely can see it. Do you see this purple edge? So all I'm going to do to eliminate that is I'm going to take one of my craft knives and just kind of gently is the word, because you don't want to hack off a bunch of your paper. You're just kind of gently going to go over this a couple times until you go through that cover. That edge is done. Okay. That one looks good. Now we'll flip it over. Same problem back here. We just have to get a little bit of it off. Now you can see that although the size was exactly right on the front of the book, the back of the book, we have the problem where the book is too long. It's really weird, but we're going to work with it and not have a problem. Same with the back cover. If you just have patience and just kind of, there you go, that's off, and now you can't see purple anywhere. So we're done with our demon stick. Get that out of the way before I hurt myself. And our book, I want to make sure The front is actually the front, so this is the front. Oh, I have another piece there I need to cut off. I'll just cut that off later. So you just picture it looking perfect right now. It's in, you know, in your little fantasy world that we're all living in right now. So we're going to take a 2.5-inch circle and a 3-inch scallop circle, and we're going to layer them. But before I do that, I'm going to do some stamping in our circle, and I'm going to be using some peg stamp, some different peg stamps. These are from Rubber Stamp Tapestry. If you've never used them, they're lovely. They're so easy to work with. And right now, Lindsay, the Frugal Crafter, has an offer where she's giving 20% off, and I'll link her video up there in the corner so that you can go to that and watch her video and then get the discount. But it's 20% off until I think it's the 24th of July, so we want to make sure we get this video up soon so that if you want to order anything, and it's only a $10 order that you have to place, so I mean 20%, that's a really great deal. So I'm hoping that if you're interested in these stamps, that you'll take advantage. I personally think they're really nice to work with, and I think they are not just they're not just nice to work with, they make stamping easy, and I'll show you what I mean by that in just a second. I'm just pulling out the different colors I wanted to get. I think I'm going to go with this one, and I'm done. Okay. This book could be something that someone will keep on their desk, and in that case you could put a 3-dimensional embellishment on the top, but I'm assuming that this is for someone's purse, so we're going to make it so that everything on it is flat, so that there isn't any kind of you know, there's just nothing on it that's going to make it so it sticks in their purse. And I'm going to start first with the branches. And here's how they work. I don't know if you've ever seen these, but this is where the branch, and then this line is where it tells you where the bottom of the branch is. So if you want to make sure that your branch is pointing in the right direction, you just make sure that you're following that line right there. So in this case, I'm going to make it kind of go more into the we'll call it into the center. I'm going to do that with, I'm going to put these all over, and I want to make sure that you can see them from, that it's from all sides, that it's not just, you know, placed in one spot. Okay, so that is our branch. I just kind of wiped it off there on that. And then I'm going to go with our leaves next. And our leaves, did I say this is Espresso Truffle, the brown I used? These are these little dewdrops from Memento. Love them. They're so much fun to work with these little peg stamps. They're just, I don't know, I just think they're fun. Then I'm going to do the leaves next. And again, you're going to follow that line so that when you line that up, that it ends up being my branch and my leaves are all in the same, you know, like they're all stuck in the same place. Put that one right there. I'm trying to do this quickly. When you're doing it, obviously you're going to give yourself more time, but I'm just trying to make sure that I just get leaves everywhere. And then I'm going to go around the outer edge. I'm going to kind of just, oops, I didn't do a good job on inking that piece. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm hitting the whole edge. It doesn't matter if I go off the paper. I just want to make sure that I'm really hitting the whole thing with leaf. Okay, so I got my leaves. I'm going to put one more leaf right here because it looks a little barren right there. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put some roses down, and for that I'm going to use Sweet Plum and Elderberry. I think they will kind of match the purple in this piece that I have. The elderberry is our darker color. The sweet plum is our lighter. I'm going to be using these roses. I think they're called prickly roses. I'll put all that at the bottom too. I'm just going to kind of go around the outer edge with the lighter purple, and then make sure that I hit the whole outer edge, which I think I did, and then I'm going to stamp into the purple one. And then I'm going to hit a branch with those, and then I'm going to show you what I'll do later with that. There's not a big color variation between the two of these, so it's not like, you know, it's not like you can, there's, like I said, there's still not a big differential between the two colors, so it doesn't, I don't think it really matters that I'm trying to do the colors differently. That didn't even make sense. I was trying to layer the colors, and you can't even tell because they're so similar. So I'm just going to, right now, I'm just going to kind of just stamp them and go with it, and then later we will work on trying to make it look a little bit better. Okay, I think I'm going to put a little bit more green in there. That's that one, and this is this one. Get my green back. I'm going to put a little bit more leaf action in here, going into the center from some of these flowers. That way the center is completely covered. I'll just do one more flower right there in the center, and then that way we've covered all of our bases. Now these roses do not have any kind of and they're what do you call that? They're an open stamp. That's what I want to call it, an open stamp. So you know, you can't, there's no coloring in them, so I think that gives you a lot more chance to really do something different with them. So I'm going to stamp some off the edge, and then I'm going to color these so that, so there's a little bit, I don't know, so it's just a little bit more entertaining to look at them. Maybe one there. Okay. Take some of my alcohol markers, and I'm not going to be doing, I'm just going to be coloring them in, but I'm not going to be doing any kind of crazy coloring. Just going to, you know, just make it so that you can see that there is, you know, that there is a difference between the outer part and the inner part of the rose. That's what I'm thinking anyway, and I'm hoping that it'll blend a little bit. Make the centers just a little darker. I'll kind of just do that. So they're just, it's a little bit darker, but the whole flower is got a little bit of dimension in the color, I'm going to call it. I'll go around a few more. Whoops, wrong side. I always do that. Don't know why. I should know by now what's what, but you know, I have a tendency to just do the wrong one every time. I think I'm going to do the whole thing and then just put a little bit. I'm not sure if you hear that snorting, but we're having a great old time in here. Now I'll put a little bit of the dark purple on them. I think these will make really cute little gifts. I like the way this looks. I think it looks kind of like a vintage color to it, and my orange is just a little bit bold. I wonder if I could tone that down a little. No, I don't think I need to. It's good the way it is. Let's first do our holder for our pen, and I'll show you how I did this on the other one. What I did was I looked at the colors that were on the back of this, and it's this orange color. And then what I did was I took, we'll just use the same, I can use orange, I guess. I got an orange one in here. Orange will look fine. What you do is you're going to wrap it around the pen so that it's just the way you want it. Now keep in mind that orange has to be far enough away that we can lay it like this and the orange stays. So that looks pretty good to me. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut off a piece of this so that I can, I just don't have a ton of it hanging off. And it's not completely even, so I'm going to fix that other piece so you can't see it. Then you're going to get some tear tape or a really strong adhesive that you have on hand, whatever kind you have. And I'm going to put it until I get to that line that I've created with the pen. And then I'm just going to cut it off at the end of the paper. I'll show it to you this way so you can see it better. So we're going to just cut it off right there. And we're going to remove the backing. Like that. And what I do when I have, I put on some tear tape that was wider than the paper I'm using, I just fold that under like that. Put the pen back in because you want to make sure you don't screw this up, and making sure that you have the pen there is important. And then you're just going to refold it so that it's lined up again. And then you're going to cut off any excess that's not even, like I did before. And now you can see how it's going to line up right there. See that? And you want to put it on the book exactly where you want it to be. Like in this case, I probably would want it to be up a little bit higher, like probably there. So we know where we want it now. So we're going to put another piece of the tear tape on the back, no, sorry, on the front of our pen piece, all the way till you get to the pen. And then you're going to cut off the backing a little bit. We're going to try to cut it off. Mash it down so it sticks really well. I'm using some big technical terms here. Mash it down. And in this case I don't have it stuck down really well at the end. Didn't mash it enough. There it goes. Have some excess paper in there. Again, you're going to fold back those weird, a little weird piece of paper stuck in here. I'm going to have to cut that out. Got it. Okay. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take it again. You're going to make sure, we're going to make sure which is your front, which is your back. This is our front. This is our back. So what you want to do is we're lining it up on the back with that orange line, but we want to see where we want it. We want it about there. So we know we want it up pretty high. So you're going to make it so, I don't know if you can see that. We're going to make it so that that orange is right there. And then you're going to kind of push on it so that it, see how it lines up with everything else. You can't see the, I mean you can see there's a difference, but it's not really big difference. So our pen is in place. Looks good. Then we're going to get just some tape runner and put on the back of this. And I'm probably doing this opposite of how you would do it, but that's how I roll. Do things kind of crazy. And then I'm just going to put more on the back of this. This is the piece that you really want to get the edges down because you don't want it coming up. I already made sure the edges were good on that piece. Then you want to kind of look and see how do you want it. I'm liking it like this. So there you have it. So that is our nice little desk set that anybody could use, and it's got lots of paper in there. It'll last them quite a long time, and for about, let's say, 80 cents investment, maybe, I think it's a pretty nice gift. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up. I'm getting this crap out of the way before it drives me nuts. please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.